Hello everyone, this is Heather with Stealing Hearts Homestead. If you have not done so already, please do like and subscribe down below. This video is going to be about building a rabbit hutch. And this is just something I decided to do with some scrap wood that I had laying around, as well as some items that I did purchase from my local home improvement store. I did run out of plywood, so if you're going to do this, you're probably going to want 2 4x8 sheets of plywood just to make sure you have enough wood. And then around 8 to 9 pieces of 2x4s. Again, this is absolutely nothing fancy. I will tell you I have never built a rabbit hutch before, and I'm definitely not a pro at woodworking, so if you're looking for something fancy, this is not going to be for you. I did go ahead and put a tarp on top of the rabbit hutch. It does not rain a lot here in Arizona, so a roof on it was not a high priority, but if you're looking for something to be a little bit more waterproof, you might look at putting shingles or something like that on top, or maybe a metal roof. For right now, I just have a tarp on top of my rabbit hutch, since, like I said, it does not rain a whole lot here in Arizona, so I'm not going to have that constant problem with rain. But if you're looking for something inexpensive, this is definitely inexpensive. I think all of the pieces probably cost me less than $100. So if you're looking to go that route, this is going to be a great setup for breeding rabbits, or even just if you have rabbits at home that you're wanting to get a larger enclosure for. I will be looking at adding a run for the rabbits, so that way they can come out of their hutch and kind of explore the ground around them and have more space. But for right now, this is a great transition for them to give them more space and more opportunity to kind of move around. So go ahead and stay tuned, and we'll go over how I built the rabbit hutch. I think that it's pretty self-explanatory. I have absolutely zero experience, like I said, building one of these, so if you've never built anything before, don't worry about it looking fancy. Mine certainly doesn't. All that matters is that it serves the purpose that I want it to. I would have also gone with wider chicken wire instead of just 24 inches. I would have gone with something a little bit bigger than that, wider wise. So that way it would have gone across the bottom of the hutch a lot better. But it is holding up the way that I do have it secured. It's very secure. The rabbits aren't going to fall through or get out. So that's working out for me with just the 24-inch wide that I got. But had I done it differently, I would have gone ahead and got a wider fabric cloth for it. Other than that, there's not too many other things I would have changed, so just go ahead and watch and let me know what you think. Like I said, please do keep in mind that I am not a woodworker. I have never built anything like this before, so please don't be too harsh. But any feedback is going to be welcomed, so thank you for watching.
Alright, so let's go over some of the items that we're going to need. I have a hammer here. I also have 2.5-inch screws. I have a drill bit here that is 9/64, so that way we can get the screws in better. I also have 2 locks that we'll put on the doors, and then 2 sets of hinges for both doors. You're going to want some safety glasses, a saw, a tape measure, and a drill, as well as some sawhorses here. I also have some hardware cloth that you're going to need. This is 24 inches by 25 feet. That should be enough to at least get the hutch done. And then we have a lot of wood over here. So I ended up purchasing 9 2x4s that are 8 feet in length, and then 1 sheet of plywood, which was 8 feet by 4 feet. And I did have Lowe's go ahead and cut that in half for me, which you can also have them do, which will make things a little bit easier for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut one of our 2x4s into 2 feet sections. So let's go ahead and get that done, and then we will piece some of it together. Alright, so we got our pieces laid out here. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes and put the screws in to go ahead and secure everything. Alright, so this is going to be the bottom piece here. It is 2 feet by 8 feet long, and I do have 3 supports there in the middle. And I'm going to make another one that's exactly like this that will be the top. So stay tuned. We're going to put that together real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright, so our top and bottom pieces are done. I'm now going to move the bottom piece over to our sawhorses over there and get to work on the hardware cloth. So stay tuned. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's coming along pretty good. If I was to do this again, I think I probably would have gone with wider hardware cloth. So you can see it's just coming right to the end, and I do have my nails going in to secure it. So you can see it's definitely secure, it's not going to go anywhere. But if I was to do it again, I probably would have gone with wider hardware cloth, so that way it did come up over here. But stay tuned, and we're about to put it together. Okay, so it is mostly together. I did have some spare pieces of plywood laying around, so the cuts are not perfect. It was something I did dumpster diving. We have a lot of house builds going on out here, and they were throwing out scraps. And some of these things were scraps that I got, but most of it is items that I purchased yesterday. So let's get this puppy in place. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's coming along. What I did decide to do is I left gaps in between here. And I'm gonna put this piece over here as well before I make the doors, but the reason I'm leaving gaps is so that I can stick another sheet of plywood in here. Say if I wanna keep the buck and the doe separate. So, or if I need to catch them or anything like that, I'll be able to stick a piece of wood in there to keep them divided, so that way they'll be easier to catch, or just to keep them divided if the does had babies and I want to keep the buck away. Alright, so all that is going to be left is going to be to make the doors. Now to keep in mind that this is made out of some scrap wood, which is why all the cuts are not perfect. But most of the wood was purchased, like I said, at Home Depot. So I'm just going to make the doors. We're going to put hardware cloth on the doors so that way I can hang things like the feeders and the waters on the doors themselves. I'm probably going to put some wood at either one of these ends to better support the doors as well as the roof. So those are my last couple of things that I need to do with this. Alright everyone, there you have it. My rabbit hutch is now complete. As you can see, there are the gaps that I talked about, so that way I can put plywood in between and keep the buck and the does separate. It'll also help when it comes to catching them, kind of cornering them off into smaller sections because it is 8 feet long. And then I have the boards at the bottom, which will swing up just to make sure that the doors are nice and secure. Like I said, it's absolutely nothing fancy, but it will do its job. So I'm looking forward to getting the bunnies here outside, so that way they are no longer in the house. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching.